we're all one. To even know what it means to be one, there are an infinite number of levels of understanding, of knowing what that means. On a very superficial level, it can be an emotional thing. Oh, I feel my oneness with you, and I feel my oneness with the trees, and I feel my oneness with everybody. And if we could all just walk around feeling that oneness all the time, wouldn't it be a beautiful world? Now, that's not really a bad thing, fundamentally. I mean, it's well intended, and that's nice. But it's a little superficial. It's not. There are deeper levels of meaning to oneness. On the depth of existence, and the depth of existence, we can even maybe to help understand, if we can even talk about it in terms of physics. It's a reality in physics. Now, this notion of the unified field. There's a level, the most fundamental level. If you take a look at what a pencil is, on one level it's a pencil, you look a little deeper, it's wood, you look a little deeper, it's primarily carbon, and then you look a little deeper and it's electrons or protons, you look a little deeper, it's subatomic particles, you look a little deeper and it's the unified field. It's the same one thing that you are. You are the pencil. And that's just physics. Now, getting emotional about it and say, oh, I'm one with a pencil and it's all so beautiful. Again, it can be a nice, sweet thing, but it's not a very realistic approach to life. Because what we're doing there is we're taking the level of life which embraces another reality, which says you and I are separate. You're sitting over there, I'm sitting over here. We're two separate beings. And we're trying to kind of smear those two things together. It's a paradoxical universe. Simultaneously valid, yet contradictory realities. They coexist. So, you and I are separate. That's a reality. And it's essential, just in the name of common sense, and just what is just normal and healthy, it's appropriate to embrace that. You and I are separate. At the same time, as the physiology refines and awakens to deeper levels, it starts to awaken to deeper levels where the other reality is valid. So at the surface, you and I are separate. At the depth, you and I are one, the unified field. Somewhere in here, there's this emotional level where we can just kind of hold hands and sway and say, oh, we're one, and think that we're understanding with these spiritual masters who've refined their physiology at the deepest level, where they actually perceive on that unified field level, you see, what they mean by we're one. And if you try to take life and apply one level to another and try to live it, you just make a big mess. It just becomes a hodgepodge, nonsensical mess. But what's really amazing here, and what really we have to remember here, is the wonder of what it means to be a human being, what the potential there is. As a human being, you have a physiology, if refined adequately, if evolved, if freed from its identities, so that it can function in its inherent true nature, in accord with its inherent true nature. You have a physiology that can be awake on all those different levels simultaneously and have them integrated so they function together harmoniously, without creating nonsense of trying to project one level, the laws of one level onto another in a nonsensical kind of a way. For example, on the unified field level, everything is well and wisely put. It's just the way it's supposed to be. But if you try to live that on the surface level of life, and you see your friend and they're about to fall off a cliff, and you just say, well, everything is well and wisely put, and you just let them fall, that's nonsense. Tell them, hey, look out, you're about to fall. So, you see, even something as simple as we're one, and trying to build a spirituality or a religion around that, if your understanding of it isn't discerning, if your understanding of it isn't developed, if it's not deep, you create nonsense. That might be too harsh of a word, but you create distortion, confusion in your life, even though the intention is most laudable. We ask deep questions. When you ask, well, what is, you've heard this, you and I are one, and I've heard it all these different places, and what does it really mean? That's a deep question. And there are millions of deep questions out there. But all too often, we ask deep questions and we insist upon simplistic answers. If you want to have a profound understanding of life, you need to start with a profound understanding of what life and existence is. And then you can deepen your understanding of life by asking this question and having it in the context of what's really going on here.